Welcome to English via AI. Imagine a dark forest in Old England. Tall trees stand everywhere. The road is quiet. Then, suddenly, an arrow flies through the air. A rich man stops. A group of outlaws steps from the trees. Their leader wears green. He carries a bow. He is brave. He is clever. He is dangerous to the powerful, but he is kind to the poor. People say he steals from the rich and gives to the poor. Is he real? Is he only a legend? No one knows for sure, but his story has lived for hundreds of years. This is the story of Robin Hood. Robin Hood is one of the most famous legends in English history. A legend is an old story that many people tell. It may include some truth, but it also grows over time. The story of Robin Hood comes from medieval England. Medieval means the Middle Ages. This was a time of castles, kings, knights, forests, and strict laws. Many people were poor. Many people had little power. The rich and powerful controlled land. The poor often had to obey. In this world, the idea of Robin Hood became powerful. He was an outlaw. An outlaw was a person outside the protection of the law. But in the stories, Robin was not shown as evil. He was shown as brave. He fought unfair power. He helped people who had no voice. That is why people remembered him. This is one of the biggest questions. Was Robin Hood a real person? Historians have studied this for many years. There is no clear proof that one real man named Robin Hood did everything in the stories. The name appears in old records in different ways. But the legend is bigger than any single record. Some people think the story may have been based on real outlaws. Others think it grew from many different folk stories. Folk stories are stories passed from person to person. They often change with time. This is important to understand. Robin Hood should not be treated like a fully proven historical person. He is best understood as a legendary figure. His story tells us what people hoped for. They wanted justice. They wanted courage. They wanted someone to stand against unfair rulers. Even if Robin Hood was not one exact man, the dream behind him was real. In many versions of the story, Robin Hood lives in Sherwood Forest. Sherwood Forest is in Nottinghamshire, England. Forests were very important in medieval life. They were places of danger. They were also places of freedom. The king controlled many forests. There were strict rules about hunting. Poor people could be punished for taking animals from royal land. This made the forest a symbol of power. But for Robin Hood, the forest became a home. It gave him safety. It gave him hiding places. It gave him a place to build his own world. In the forest, Robin was not alone. He had a group of friends. They were called the Merry Men. Together, they lived outside normal society. But in the legend, they followed their own idea of justice. They fought against cruelty. They protected the weak. Robin Hood's friends are an important part of the legend. The most famous is Little John. His name is funny because he is often shown as a very large man. Little John is strong and loyal. He is Robin's close friend. Another famous member is Friar Tuck. A friar is a religious man. In many stories, Friar Tuck is cheerful, brave, and full of life. There is also Will Scarlet. He is often shown as stylish and bold. These characters make the legend richer. Robin is the leader, but he does not act alone. The merry men are like a family. They share danger. They share food. They share a cause. Their life in the forest is hard, but it is also full of freedom. The stories show friendship, loyalty, and courage. They also show that justice often needs people working together. Many later versions of the story include Maid Marian. She is often shown as Robin Hood's love. But she is not only a love interest. In many modern versions, Marian is brave and intelligent. She understands the danger around her. She supports justice. She sometimes fights beside Robin. This is important because the Robin Hood legend changed over time. Older stories did not always include Marian in the same way. As the legend grew, people added new ideas. Marian became part of the heart of the story. She gave the legend emotion. She showed love, loyalty, and courage. Her character also helped show that the fight for justice was not only for men. In many versions, Marian stands for kindness and strength. She helps Robin stay connected to love and humanity. Without Marian, the legend would feel colder. With her, it becomes more human. Every hero needs a strong enemy. For Robin Hood, that enemy is often the Sheriff of Nottingham. The sheriff represents local power. He collects taxes. He controls the law. He works for the powerful. In the stories, he is usually cruel and greedy. He wants to catch Robin Hood. He wants to punish the outlaws. He wants to protect his own power. The sheriff is important because he gives the story conflict. Robin fights for the poor. The sheriff fights to keep control. This creates a clear battle. Justice against greed. Freedom against fear. Kindness against cruelty. In some versions, Prince John is also an enemy. Prince John is shown as a bad ruler while King Richard is away. These characters help make Robin Hood's world feel dangerous. They show why people needed a hero. The most famous idea about Robin Hood is simple. He steals from the rich and gives to the poor. This line is known around the world. But why does this idea matter so much? Because it turns normal power upside down. Usually, the rich take from the poor. In Robin Hood's story, the poor receive help. The powerful lose something. The weak gain hope. This is why the story became loved by many people. It gave them a dream of fairness. It said that power should not be used only for the rich. It said that poor people also deserve dignity. Of course, stealing is wrong in normal life. But in the legend, Robin's actions are shown as a fight against unfairness. He is not stealing for greed. He is stealing to correct injustice. That is the moral heart of the story. Robin Hood is famous for his bow. He is often shown as a master archer. An archer is a person who shoots arrows with a bow. In medieval England, archery was an important skill. A good archer could be very powerful in battle. The bow also fits Robin's character. It is quiet, it is fast, It is useful in the forest. It allows him to strike from a distance. Many stories show Robin winning archery contests. Sometimes he enters in disguise. A disguise is clothing or appearance used to hide who you are. These stories are exciting. They show his skill. They show his courage. They show his clever mind. Robin is not only strong, he is smart. He wins because he can think quickly. He knows when to hide. He knows when to act. The story of Robin Hood did not appear all at once. It grew slowly over many centuries. Early ballads told stories about an outlaw named Robin Hood. A ballad is an old song or poem that tells a story. These ballads were passed from person to person. Later, writers changed and expanded the legend. They added characters. They changed details. They made Robin more noble. In some versions, Robin is a common outlaw. In others, he is a nobleman who lost his land. In some versions, the story is rough and violent. In others, it is romantic and heroic. This is normal for legends. Each age tells the story in its own way. Robin Hood became a mirror. People used him to talk about justice, power, freedom, and fairness. That is why he lasted so long. Robin Hood became famous far beyond old ballads. His story appeared in books, plays, films, television shows, and cartoons. Each version shows him a little differently. Sometimes he is serious. Sometimes he is funny. Sometimes he is romantic. Sometimes he is a rebel hero. But the center of the story usually stays the same. Robin stands with the poor. He fights unfair power. He lives in the forest. He uses his bow. He has loyal friends. This makes the legend easy to understand. It also makes it easy to retell. Children can enjoy it. Adults can think about its deeper meaning. That is why Robin Hood is still known around the world. He belongs not only to England. He belongs to the imagination of many cultures. Robin Hood still matters because the story is simple and powerful. People still understand unfairness. People still understand poverty. People still understand the feeling that the powerful do not always listen. Robin Hood gives people a symbol. He is the person who says no. No to greed. No to cruelty. No to unfair power. He is also a symbol of courage. He risks his life to help others. He does not hide only for himself. He uses his freedom for a purpose. This is why the legend survives. It speaks to a deep human hope, the hope that someone brave will stand up for what is right. Robin Hood may be a legend, but the need for justice is real. So, what can we learn from the story of Robin Hood? His story carries powerful lessons. The first lesson is about justice. People want fairness. They want the weak to be protected. The second lesson is about courage. Robin stands against powerful enemies. He does not let fear control him. The third lesson is about friendship. The merry men show loyalty and teamwork. The fourth lesson is about kindness. Robin helps people who have less than him. The fifth lesson is about legend. A story can survive for centuries when it speaks to the human heart. Robin Hood's story reminds us of something simple but powerful. You do not need a crown to stand for justice. Sometimes, courage begins in the forest, far from the palace. Vocabulary, meanings and examples from the story. Legend, an old story that many people tell. Example: Robin Hood is one of the most famous legends in English history. Medieval, connected to the Middle Ages. Example: the story of Robin Hood comes from medieval England. Outlaw, a person who lives outside the protection of the law. Example: he was an outlaw. Justice, fair treatment and what is right. Example: they followed their own idea of justice. Forest, a large area full of trees. Example: for Robin Hood, the forest became a home. Loyal, staying true to a person or group. Example: Little John is strong and loyal. Greedy, wanting too much money or power. Example: he is usually cruel and greedy. Dignity, calm self-respect and human worth. Example: poor people also deserve dignity. Archer, a person who shoots arrows with a bow. Example: he is often shown as a master archer. Disguise, a way to hide who you are. Example: sometimes he enters in disguise. Ballad, an old song or poem that tells a story. Example: early ballads told stories about an outlaw named Robin Hood. Symbol, a person or thing that represents an idea. Example: Robin Hood gives people a symbol. Grammar tip: modal verb could. We use could to talk about ability in the past. Example 1. A good archer could be very powerful in battle. We also use could to talk about possibility. Example 2. The story could include some truth. Example 3. A legend could change over time. A simple way to remember: use could for past ability or possible situations. Robin Hood may be history, or he may be legend, but his story has lived for hundreds of years. He stands for courage. He stands for friendship. He stands for justice. He reminds us that people have always wanted fairness, and he shows that even an outlaw in a forest can become a hero in people's hearts. So here is a question for you to think about. If you saw unfairness, would you have the courage to stand against it? If you enjoyed this story, please like this video, share it with a friend who needs to hear it, and comment below with one lesson you will carry with you. Subscribe to English via AI for more real stories that help you learn English, one journey at a time. Keep learning, keep building.